Hello. Welcome Thursday night, right here on the Guild's, oh, God damn it, on the Superior Adventurers Guild Twitch channel. I am your host and humble dungeon master this evening, North Shore DM, also known as Real Sim G. But if you're cool, you can call me Chad. That's my name. Welcome. We're going to play our show Midwinter Keening today. In the wonderful campaign setting of Svilland, written by our amazing sponsors, Dream Realm Storytellers. Oh man, we got some good stuff. Let's meet my friends who I play Dungeons and Dragons with. Hello, my friends.
Hello.
Oh yeah, three of us don't have sleeves. 3 of you have sleeves.
Ooh.
And on my screen, it goes no sleeve, sleeve, no sleeve, sleeve. Wait, no sleeve, 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 no sleeve, no sleeve, sleeve. So that's cool. Anyway, please introduce yourselves.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy. I'm playing Stieg Egilson, a 3rd level Runewalker wizard, and a proud owner of a shiny new diamond.
Ooh.
He loves that
Hey,
diamond.
everybody. I am Ashley, and I play Astrid Boulderstutter. And I am a 3rd level Gothi, so Cleric of Balder. Yeah, ready for some more action.
Oh, all right. I guess we'll do some action today.
Ninjas.
Ninjas.
Norse
Sounds
ninjas.
good.
I've heard of them.
Yep.
The frost arrows, maybe. All right. Hey, I'm Dave. I'm going to be playing Vidar Gormson tonight, a former thrall of Gorm, a proud member of Gorm's Rangers, and I'm excited to see what the next chapter in young Vidar's life brings him. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm happy to be here.
Wow.
I like long walks on snowy, ice-covered rivers, the winter wind breezing my beard, and playing paladins, or Alas, as this setting says, of Thor, possibly named Gundr Tryggvason, who is just so very happy to see his good friend Vitter become a man in a number of senses, especially with the last end of last session. So good on him.
And I'm Amanda. I play Paya the midwife. Really just a bard, but only sort of is figuring that out. She's in the midst of a panic attack, last I recall, and is hopefully on her way home in this cold, dark place.
The upside of Paya being the midwife is she's the only one of us who's gainfully employed.
Yeah, she's also mom age to everyone.
No,
Yeah.
I'm employed.
Yeah,
but
I'm employed.
I'm employed by Paya.
Aren't you a landowner, Michael?
He has people that do that for him.
But technically, yes.
Hey, are you hiring by any chance?
I'll have to ask my other farmhand, the cat.
Yes.
The cat says you're delicious.
We haven't met your business partner yet.
That makes sense. Man. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, both in game and related to the game. Some of which we're gonna talk about probably at a little bit of length today because I'm a giant nerd about such things. But first, I want to talk about our amazing sponsor, Dream Realm Storytellers. Recently, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know because I tweeted like 9 times about it that the revised edition of the campaign setting book, the core book, as some folk would call it, for Svilland, has been released this past. It was like Tuesday, I think. It was this week, anyway. Made some changes for the better in some ways. In most ways, I think.
New art is
Oh,
So
man.
good.
Yeah, it's
The
delicious.
new art is dope. They cleaned up some of the some language and grammar and that kind of stuff. A little bit of layout changes, some mechanical changes, which of course are hotly debated over on the Discord server. But so far they look cool and probably for the better. We'll see. We'll see how things shake out. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for it though. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time in a minute, kind of talking with what some of these changes mean to our specific players. Also, Dave would like to tell you about something very related because of the revised edition that we are excited about for you.
Yes, our beloved viewers. Guess what, guys? We've got big news. Following up on Chad's announcement here about Dream Realms Storytellers and the revised edition of the core book, they have donated to our stream. So one lucky winner is going to win 4. That's right, 4 of the Svilland books. The revised core book, the Svilland campaign setting, the South Sea Region Guide, the Untold Sagas lore book, and Into the Wolf's Maw. Now, if you are familiar with those, you know how awesome this giveaway is going to be. If you don't know what those are, Ashley's going to point down right below her panel. There is a URL. You could go there and you can see all of these books and get a feel for what they are. They're amazing. It is pretty much everything you would need. So if you're a dungeon master, you're going to want to have this. It's got everything you need to run an awesome Svilland campaign like Chad's doing for us. And if you're a player and you've got a special DM in mind and you want to play in this setting, you better enter to win this thing. So Andy's going to show us how it's done. All you have to do to enter is type into the chat DRS and you will be officially entered to win. We're going to go ahead and draw one lucky winner for 4 DRS books to get you started on your very own Svilland campaign. Stick around till the end of the stream. We'll draw one lucky winner at the end. So there you go. Back to you, Chad.
And to continue to pimp it just a little bit more, if you're a player and you like awesome player options, the core book itself has close to 30 class options, two new character classes, and like with 3 each subclasses, and then that would be 9, whatever, like 30, so like 21 or 21 to 25 more subclasses for every
Crazy.
class except for monk, because contextually they don't make any sense here. An insane amount of stuff, all kinds of player options.
Don't forget all the new spells, all the campaign-specific magic items, which are neat.
Mhm.
Campaign-specific feats,
Monsters.
monsters. Oh god, the monsters are so terrifyingly awesome.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're super cool. Before we get into, I think the oh shit, what's it called? Where I talk about what we did last time.
Recap.
The recap. Thank you. Yeah. The recap. Before we get into the recap, before we get into the game, I want to talk a little bit with you, my players, my friends, about changes that have happened based on this revised update, right? Just so that we can have talked about it, just because we haven't had a whole lot of time to talk about it. I feel like it might be okay to talk about it.
All elves now, is that it?
What's that?
All elves now?
Yeah, you're all elves.
Sweet.
Short elves, not tall ones.
Go to hell.
Sounds about right.
I don't know that any of your I haven't had a huge time to look at everything, but I don't know that any of your your racial stuff changed. You can correct me if you've looked at it and I am wrong.
I have not checked that, actually. I checked the class and nothing changes for mine.
I had some changes to mine that were
Okay.
I have a couple minor changes to mine
Yeah.
too.
I have not gotten
I-
a chance to look at all because I bought it and I didn't get an update.
Did you buy it through Drive-Thru RPG?
Yep.
So if
I
you
got an
go into
email.
Drive-Thru RPG, and if you go into your library, there'll be a revised. If you look at it in your library, there'll be the revised version that you can download.
It's waiting for
Okay.
you.
It took me way too long to figure that out.
That's a useful skill for everyone to know because drive-through is a great way for people to disseminate updated documents. I've had
Yeah.
several games do that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's always like,
Um,
"Oh, we sent you an email. Didn't you get it?"
So
People don't read
Stieg,
email anymore.
Mhm.
I read too many emails. Stieg, what changed for you?
Slight changes to the path option that I chose. The Runewalker path. I chose the path of protection,
Okay.
and now it's like I get let's see. I can, as a reaction, I can choose to have advantage on a saving throw, and I can do that once per long rest.
Well,
And
holy shit.
and then I can still draw that rune of protection on myself or an ally that grants a death saving throw.
Success.
Um,
Nice.
and that's once per long rest too.
Okay.
That's the same. They just added the reaction of
Mhm.
saving on a saving throw, or
And
getting advantage on a saving throw. That's what it was.
everything else is the same for you.
Um,
And
oh,
there
they
was
added,
a couple of spells that changed a
they
little
added
bit.
proficiency with light armor to that. I don't know if that was there before.
I don't think it was.
Maybe it was, and that's why I was able to get. I think it was there. I can't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
I'll have to double check.
We're all like Vikings. Everyone should have proficiency in some kind of armor.
Because I did get armor. I have armor. I have the.
Yeah.
So I must have known that already.
Was that from? Oh, that's from Path of Protection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I
Cool.
could tell you the page. It's 75
I'm
or
there.
76.
I'm there. I'm a fast scroller.
Yeah, they changed a lot of those paths, but the path of protection wasn't.
And your subclass is the same
I forgot to check that actually.
because you're the rune scribe.
Yeah, I don't think that changed
Yeah, I don't think that changed.
unless it was some
still
small
game.
details.
You can remember starting at second level number of spell slots.
Yeah, that memory of the god thing. They just kind of cleaned up the terminology there.
Yeah. That's super nice.
They kind of just spelled it out a lot better.
Remember, everyone out there, things don't have to be set in stone. You can learn, adapt, and overcome. Just like some of the words in this book are now written better. Awesome. And Andy, did you roll your hit points for your?
I didn't actually. I was just about to bring that up when we got back to it.
Please
So
do that
you want
right
me to
now.
do that now?
Do it right now.
Do it.
So it's
You're
my
choosing-
hit. It's a hit die plus your con modifier, and that's what it is.
Yep.
Okay. Come on, big money. Okay. So
That was
that's a total of,
reasonably cash money.
yeah. It's all right. 3 plus 2, so 5
Nice.
hit points
5,
for
yeah.
Stieg.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Oh, go there. Yes. Scroll, you fool. Scroll. Gunder, did your stuff change at all?
None that I saw. All of the class abilities look the same, at least through level like 7 or 8.
Okay. Nice. Bard. Ooh, Bard.
Turns out the bard text just says you win. I don't know how that works.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're a Bard in Humblewood because, oh, good God. The College of the Road is crazy. Paya.
Yes. Hello.
I feel like they've at least cleaned up some of the language here. I don't know that anything is functionally changed. I briefly looked at it the other day.
Oh, they dropped my AC bonus a lot.
For the Warband Warrior,
Yeah.
it's just plus, so it's +1 at first level and then +2 at 10th level. What was it before?
I think it was like
was-
+5 or something before, wasn't it?
No, it was +1 if you had one or two allies. You got up to
Oh, it was-
+3 if you had 5 or
Oh,
more allies
yeah, that's
nearby.
right.
That's what it was. That's where the 5
So
came from.
it was really it got to be pretty high. Like I was super buff and kind of indestructible.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not that indestructible anymore.
But you are unforgettable.
I am unforgettable, but not indestructible.
That hasn't changed.
Not indestructible.
I may or may not be reading it right now.
I was reading it right now, so and then let's double check what my other Song of Home does, because that was my important spell.
Oh yeah.
My level 1 domain feature was a 5-foot radius and then suddenly became 15-foot radius.
15 is better.
Yeah, it really is.
I also I feel like they didn't give you a definition for what main meant, and I like that they spell it out here. The agony domain. That's so metal.
Is anybody mythal?
Yeah. No.
Mhm.
No.
Yes, I am.
They actually removed the charge racial feat. When you ready an
Oh.
attack, you can add your proficiency bonus to the damage for that attack. They removed that, just FYI.
So actually, yours just went from 5 to 15.
Yeah, I mean, so far that's what I saw. My range
Okay.
improved on my basic spell, which I have never used because I have not really gotten that close to
Yeah, that's
people.
true. We'll change that.
Thanks, Chad.
But yeah, well, you know,
I have to get hit. for
I
using
do all of these things out of love.
Yeah.
Just murder and death for love.
Metal.
Yeah, right. And Vider, there have been some considerable changes
Yep.
to the. I think, ultimately, there's some big changes. There's no choices anymore.
Right. Which is
which
fine.
a part of me I like better.
Yep.
I like that better.
This is all sort of what I was taking anyways. I mean, I lost a little bit of speed. Well, a little bit. I lost 10 feet of speed in my favorite
It
terrain.
was because it was 20 before.
It was increase your speed by 10 feet or 20 feet in your favored terrain.
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
that's all right. And then the advantage, it did remove, you and I talked about this though, it removed the ski proficiency, but we're going to keep that.
Yeah.
And that's, other than that,
Awesome.
the first bullet is a little, it's still a little bit nebulous in my mind. It's not, does that apply to cold damage? Like if you have a saving throw against like a spell that deals cold damage? Because the way it was written previously, it specifically said this does not apply to damage, but now it doesn't have that phrase in it anymore.
Right.
Which leads me to believe that it would apply, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Pete Lutenberger. Pete, how you doing, Pete?
Shit, Pete's here. What's up, buddy?
He's cheering. He's cheering for the sexy GM. He said, "You have an advantage, Chad."
Yeah.
Make note.
I forgot how many advantages I had last time. It was a number.
Pete Lutenberger is back with a vengeance.
Also, holy shit, they actually kind of buffed some of the stuff that you do as a Owl of Thor at later levels, and it's amazing. But we're not there yet. Never mind.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So I can cause a condition now. there's a new condition.
I saw that agonized.
Yeah, agonized. A creature that is agonized has its speed reduced by 10 feet and takes 2 1d4 psychic damage at the end of each of its turn until it is no longer agonized.
So
cool. Yeah, right. Is also unable to cast spells that require concentration and becomes right. And any concentration spell fails when it becomes agonized.
This is how goth kids propagate. Yeah, you know.
Astrid is our favorite goth kid, and we support her as she goes through her oh god, Balder phase. There we go. That's what I was looking
Right,
for.
the Balder phase.
It's not a phase. I just look normal, guys.
Not a phase. It's not a phase, Dad.
Everyone talks about warlocks being the goth kids of D&D, but they're not correct.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
You know what? I would say that this agony domain, it really is kind of warlock like.
Yeah.
We also put a little spin on it, which was our own flavor, me and Chad, but
yeah. Which makes it even more goth.
It's true.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody else have
imagine
any...
Balder now is like the lead singer from My Chemical Romance, and that's terrifying to me.
You know, which is much better than him being the lead singer of Flesh Cradle. Which, if you've started the last episode of Crit Roll Season 2, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Flesh Cradle. Which just it sounds so gross. Anyway, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about changes that have happened in this book? Anything you want to talk about before we get started? Dave, also please roll hit points.
You got it. All right. 5 hit points.
Woo! All right. Did anyone have anything? Was there anything else? Did anyone take any? Not counting Dave, because we did some design work on Dave's feat. But did anybody take any feats that may have changed? I don't know how many. I don't remember how many of you are mythical.
I don't think any of us have access to feet yet.
Just mythal.
Right. Yeah, just the mythal. All right. Awesome. Wow. Yeah, let's oh boy. Let me now I have to fumble through a recap again.
Yep. Pressure's on.
For you.
No shit there, Viper. Gathered around the fire at the lodge of the Rangers. Gorm's Rangers. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how the fuck did we end up here, so let me tell you a story.
Let's see. All right. Oh, sweet. I have a list. So if you remember last time, the party had returned to town after their continued ventures out in the wilderness of the north, and they had a lot of questions. They have some things that they want to find out about, and so some of that they did, to include Astrid and Stieg had gone to seek out Saemond, Stieg's mentor, to check in because Stieg lives with him, but also to find out some clarification, perhaps about this prophecy that he spoke, and see if there's any other stuff that he could tell them. And a question was asked: what does the bound warrior? Who is this bound warrior that you could be talking about? And it may be that there's a person named Big, who was an associate of whatever I named that guy that I'm blanking on right now. The
Mavnus.
the cedar guy, yeah, Mavnus. Wow.
Let's call him
and
Madness.
Madness, and he was killed, of course. But it could be perhaps that his spirit is bound, and someone is trying to release it, and he was a person of considerable terribleness. So that probably wouldn't be good. Not at all. And that they should perhaps ask Hertha, the law speaker. Perhaps she knows some more of the history of that thing, that endeavor, and could shed some more light. Also, of course, someone, I'm not sure who, was interested to find out what this light was about in the prophecy. And of course, it could refer to the Shining One, aka Balder, or of course his hand here in town, Astrid. But as prophecies go, we don't know, but those are some options. And Stieg then, of course, did some research. He did some drinking. There was some spell casting down by the river with Matt, whatever Matt's name was. Chris Farley's motivational speaker from SNL back in the day. No one. No, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, no,
yeah,
we
yeah,
get-
yeah,
we
yeah, we
follow.
got
Okay.
you. We got
all
you.
right. All right.
I was gonna say Neil Young. He was down there with Neil Young.
That's right. And one of the rangers, Rackle, had come around and had invited the various party members to some festivities, a feast, a shindig in somewhat languages, out at Gorm's Hall. Paya and Stieg sold a bunch of weapons and armor and got some gold, which was some of it was then distributed. Stieg got a diamond he was in need of for spell purposes. And Vidar went on a little quest of his own. He was tasked by Gorm to go get some meat for this party. And so he went and hunted stag, of course, on some skis that Gorm had just gifted him. And he expertly tracked down a stag and was able to slay it with an arrow and then haul it back. Well, of course, when he returned, he found that a number of folk had gathered. There were fires and cooking and meat and whatnot. And then there was a bit of a speech by Gorm about Vidar. Some people from the community spoke well of Vidar as well, telling of his deeds and how cool he is, and those sorts of things. And in the end, he was freed from his the bonds of thraldom, and is a full member of society now in the ways of freemen, and as well as being a, albeit young one, perhaps now officially a man, grown up. He's got a new pair of pants to wear. They're called big boy pants. He has a really big belt to keep him up.
Just a quick note of clarification: is he a freeman or a fremen?
Fremen has a different context, which would cause a lot of havoc, and we don't want to have that happen.
All in good time, Michael. All in good time.
That's right. What's the Swedish translation of Muad'Dib?
Probably Muad'Dib.
That tracks. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. And so here we are. Nighttime. Folk have gathered. Meat is roasting on a fire, probably on fires. Mead and ale are stewing, or wait, stewing isn't the right word. Are being warmed in vats because that's what you do. It's cool. I'm sure somebody's drinking pine nettle tea because, duh. People are having a good time, swapping stories, that sort of stuff. What my
Vidar
friends
will.
are you
Sorry.
doing?
Yeah, I was just going to jump in and say Vidar will approach Stieg and with a full mug to hand him. Hands him a mug of ale. Stieg,
Thank you.
you look like you could use another.
Thank you. How are you doing?
It feels weird, but I feel good. I wanted to thank you for what you said earlier.
Oh, you don't have to thank me. I was just speaking the truth.
Well, it was well said and much appreciated. I feel a kinship to you and to the others, and I don't know. It feels good. It feels like friendship, and I appreciate it.
Anytime. How's it feel to be free?
Fucking great.
I think it's about time myself. If we had to wait much longer, I was gonna say something to Gorm.
Gorm, he has his ways about him, and everything is done for a reason. That's one thing I've learned of him. He was good to me, raised me in his family, and gave me purpose, which was all I really ever wanted after my parents were slain, to find a position, a place where I could contribute. And well, it's just nice to feel as though others see that contribution and hold it in esteem. So thank you.
You're
And
very
he
welcome.
takes a big swig off of the ale, the mug.
Where's Islan? That's the name of your bird, right?
Iceland, yeah, Island.
Iceland.
Sure.
Iceland.
Yeah. She soars. She is happy for me as well, and I can feel her joy. He kind of looks up in the air. Oops, wrong button.
Was that a cow?
Yeah.
Oh.
What the hell was that?
Spilling chicken.
He knocks an arrow. He knocks an arrow. What was that?
Damn flying
The
cow.
flying cows. Watch out for the falling mud pies.
Perhaps I have had too much to drink, Stieg.
I don't think that's possible tonight.
Oh, yes.
You enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
I know I will. We celebrate.
Yes.
Huzzah.
Just now that has Vidar walked away?
Vidar walks away.
I'm gonna start subtly casting detect magic.
Okay,
Just while
I
sit in the corner.
give me a deception roll.
Deception roll. Where's
Yeah.
the VTT? Okay, hold on.
It's on the internet
On this other screen.
where it lives.
18
Nice.
plus something.
Nice. You need
Um,
that.
Charisma plus nothing.
18.
Because
Yeah,
Steak is not charismatic.
You cast detect magic and nobody notices.
I'd like to take a look at Iceland. Is the bird still flying around?
What's the range? What's the range on detect magic? 60 feet? 30 feet?
Oh, 30 feet.
5 feet?
I guess it's only 30 feet. I thought it
There-
was farther, but
There's probably a moment, Stieg, where Iceland comes to perch on his shoulder, during the night where you might be able to do that.
all right. That was my idea anyway.
Interesting. That's a good question. Hang on, let me look at something really quick.
Well, it lasts like a minute, right? So you could walk around over towards things that you were
Yeah,
interested
it lasts 10 minutes.
in. 10 minutes.
So
See?
I could walk around for a little bit.
Oh, whoops! I can't spell. Hang on. Let me look at this real quick. Oh, really? Now is when you're gonna be slow, internet?
It knows you need it. Now is the time to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You do not. Okay, hang on. Let me look at one more thing. Detect magic.
So they're giving away 4 books today, right?
Yeah.
Are they now? Oofta.
That's a lot. That's a lot of free stuff.
A lot
Yeah.
of book.
There's a lot of book.
It's
The
a
new
lot.
book is
Yeah.
great too.
All
New
so
artwork.
good. That whole
The new cover is glorious. You do not detect anything untoward
So
about
if
about
I'm looking at Iceland,
Iceland.
I don't see anything glowing.
turns out the magic was in Vitter's heart the whole time.
Let's see,
Is she perched on my shoulder?
Do you want her to be? Yeah.
I mean, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah, oh boy.
What about the amulet that I wear?
Yeah. So you don't wear that in the open.
It's not out hanging out, but
Yeah.
it would be underneath my clothing.
Give me if you're being a nosy little wizard, why don't you roll a perception roll for me?
Okay. Oh, God.
Yeah, you don't see anything untoward going on over there.
What'd you roll?
A 4.
Oh.
And perception is nothing. Yeah. Horrible stat, Stieg. That's a snake name.
He's a hell of a guy, though.
Yeah.
It's just not very perceptive or charismatic.
I mean, you've had a few beers. It's nighttime.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not that
Yeah.
strong either, is he?
He's just not not good at woodworking.
What about dexterous?
So forgive me,
No.
but like, so detect magic, does that show up like, fey creatures, divine creatures,
It
like
does
things
not.
like that? It does not. Okay.
Yeah.
The presence of magic.
Just the
Yeah.
presence of magic.
So I didn't roll the end of last episode
Oh, for hip
to have snuck out.
Oh.
Oh, sure. You
So I
would
need
like to
to have-
leave.
I've
Um,
left.
okay.
I'm not here.
No worries. No worries.
As soon as there was a place, I dipped and ran back home.
So my question to you would be, would Paya sneak out or boldly stride away
she just dipped. I mean, she wasn't trying to make a scene to leave. She just did not want to be there anymore. So, I mean, I
Right.
just think that I
Ghosted.
said that she was like playing drums for a minute there and got everyone dancing, and then dipped the minute everyone was distracted.
Okay.
There was any sort of distraction. So I don't know if you need me to have a stealth roll.
If
But-
you want to have if you
Or I'm fine without it. I mean,
yeah, I guess my question is ultimately my question to you is do you care if you're noticed, or are you trying to sneak out without anybody seeing, right? And if it's the you don't really care if you're noticed, I also
I really don't
really care.
horribly care, but I'm just wondering if anyone in the group would have noticed at any point, like what
Okay.
just like what is my stealth going to beat their passive perception that I'm gone?
Sure.
Mine's 14.
Yeah, which is why I'm wondering if you need me to
Okay.
roll for that.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, we can do it that way. That's fine.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that's not a great passive percent. That's not a great stealth. It's only a 7, so it's
There goes
possible.
Saya.
yeah, you
Possible
definitely
to.
you kicked
Well, it
4
actually wouldn't be-
accordions on the way out.
Even Stieg saw you leave.
Was anyone actually paying attention?
Well, when she shouted nuts to you guys and stepped out the door.
Fuck you!
I mean, Gun
Um,
just assumed she was going to leave, so he isn't even gonna check. He just assumes she's not here.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you guys. I don't know that that's necessarily something we need to.
Okay.
But
And
you
then
get,
do I
if
need
you
to do
want to have seen her
anything?
leave, if you don't want to have seen her leave, that's I'll leave
Oh.
that up to you guys.
And then the other thing is do I have to do anything to make it home this time of night?
No.
Okay.
Um,
And I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, you head back to town. Head back to the inn. There's folk at the inn. You know, obviously not everyone has been invited to this party. There are a number of other folk here other than the rangers and yourselves, but it's not like the whole town is here, or half the town, or realistically a quarter of the town, because there's
a
like
private
1,700
party.
people. Yeah.
Invite only.
But yeah. Do you want to have a sort of scene once you get back to the inn?
I mean, I'm going to
If you
go
would like to.
find.
What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna go find Absolal, and find my room and just kind of cocoon myself in there. And I'm not having to. I've had experiences with people being freed, and it wasn't always a good thing. And I don't believe that a 15-year-old boy being free is necessarily without a cost. Just from my experience. So I'm not thinking this was anything to celebrate. I'm actually really quite terrified as to what's going to happen.
You find your room, your quarters, you cocoon. You have a dope pile of furs and wool. I don't know, whatever people slept in, blankets. Nice stuff. And you kind of, I don't know, however you
Relive
are.
some trauma and have a panic attack, and just am like hoping that any and everyone that I sent out is going to be alive in the morning or by the end of the week.
After maybe a little bit, I think Absalon probably comes in. And he sits down on the bed next to you, and he has a mug of, I don't know, pine needle tea. I don't know of any other tea. I don't know of any other teas that people would have drank. Pine
Maybe
needle tea is so
lavender?
good.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
Or birch bark.
Lavender.
Birch bark.
Let's go with birch bark. That sounds good.
Pain relieving.
Yeah. It's a whole body numb. That's not how strong it is. And he hands you a cup. Would you say that obviously not this specific instance, but like is this a place you have found yourself before in this time with Absalon being here in Molgor, like, like having this kind of like panic attack, these feelings?
I don't know if he's ever seen anything quite this traumatic. I mean, he's seen me after a disappointing birth. But I don't know if he's ever seen me in the calm of knowing that the pregnancy was really complicated and I didn't know what to do or how to save someone. And being that kind of helpless. I don't think he's ever seen me quite this shaken.
So
but-
he sits down and he hands you a cup and just sits quietly. Maybe maybe puts an arm around you. I don't know if that's, I know some people don't like that,
No.
but maybe that's okay.
No, They freed the boy. He said they freed him. I got my papers and I don't talk about it. And I'm nowhere near where I came from. But that is because of the orders I was given. I don't know anyone who was freed that lived the week. I don't know what you don't own someone and give them away. You don't just give away 5,000 gold. You just don't let it walk away. You just don't. That's not what happens. You don't go and raid some other city. You don't go steal a soul. You don't break them and then let them walk away. Not alive. No one does that. I mean, I don't trust Gorm. I don't trust what's going on here. A child. I worry for him. I worry for them all. I've been to enough funerals. I know. I cry the rest of the night. Slaves are lit first. The slaves are always lit first. They're freed, and then they're lit on fire first. Only after the trauma. Only after the situations. Only after. And the children are first. Only after. They're broken, and then they're let go, made king. And that's the end. And the end there is cruel. So much crueler than you can imagine. So very much crueler. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about what I've seen. I just don't. I don't. How did I go? Why did I go?
Yeah, I don't I don't know what he would say.
He just holds me.
Yeah.
He just holds me. And he understood
I
why I
think-
gave him that 4 gold yesterday.
I think there's probably a few times where he like almost is like I don't want to say something, but then he like, he doesn't, and yeah, he just holds you. He has one of those kind of combo faces. He has combo of feeling your hurt, especially as a storyteller. He feels that pain, um and you know and and then also the, like, I hurt for myself because I want to make this better, but I can't. um um and yeah,
Yeah.
and you have some tea. You
Some tea, and
you
I cry and cocoon, and I'm just there.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
back to the fire, my friends, back to the fire. The night continues in a manner of your choosing, um around this fire with these folk. um if you desire to, you can notice, um excuse me, you can, like, you as a if you as a player want to have noticed at some point that Paya is not around, um I'll leave that up to you, depending on what shenanigans you get into. um I think, various of the rangers, over the course of the evening, will, um, talk with you. Each of you, but not necessarily, not like I'm taking you aside and talking with you, but just kind of, you're around talking or doing whatever you're doing, and it is generally expressed like, "Hey, good on you. Vidar says you're cool. You seem cool." That kind of, that kind of stuff. Um, do any of you have anything further you would like? Any further things you would like to work through here?
Winder is in fact just happy, drunk, laughing, probably flirting with Rackle a little bit. Doesn't care if he's getting anywhere or not. Just he is joyous.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check. That seems dirty, but how else are you going to mechanicize this? It does.
Doesn't need to be a mechanic. It matters or it doesn't. But I'll roll a d20. We'll see what we get. Technically, that's a 14.
14. Okay.
Technically, we have advantage on that because I'm Austri, so it's either a 14 or a 19.
That's true. You have
Ooh.
advantage. Oh, wow. I love it. My favorite part about this is that the reason that they get that advantage is because they're good at selling things. And in this case, you're selling yourself. It's like Tony Little. She's gonna roll. Okay. I don't know. Do you want her to be into you?
Dude literally doesn't care. It's just his idea of cutting loose.
Okay. She's into you. Yeah.
Good for her. He's going home alone anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's one of those days. I've been there. Anyone else? Anyone else have? Yes, Astrid.
Okay. I would like to just kind of keep an eye out, since this is a party that is celebrating our ragtag band and, specifically Vidar. Just, is anybody like unhappy or like eyeing us up weird, or just giving me weird vibes or whatever in this
Sure.
large group of people?
I would allow either a perhaps a perception roll or even an insight roll.
Ooh, my insight roll, which increased.
Oh, nice.
Which is super
Yeah.
good.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I just
Oh,
rolled a 15.
shit.
Let's add 6 to that.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's a
24.
24.
Hey, Baldur is
notice?
good.
Yeah.
Poor Chad. He's like, I wasn't thinking about this.
Well, it's the trials and tribulations of being a dungeon master. There's maybe one, or there's maybe a couple of folk, a couple of dudes, who seem not hostile, but maybe a little more standoffish, kind of, maybe, about the whole thing. And I think would you they kind of like, you kind of see them, they kind of stay together, and you kind of see them maybe, uh like, maybe giving a little extra stares, to various of your friends, and they there's a few times where you catch them, what's the word, like, kind of like
Obviously, talking about us.
conspiring. That's the word. Like, there, you probably catch, you see, like, Vidar is, like, talking to, maybe talking to, Brar and Gorm, and, like, telling him about the hunt of the stag, and you can see, these two kind of across the fire. They're kind of like, doing the, like, we're trying to hide it, but we suck at it, like, watching him, and then you can see them kind of talking out of the side of their mouths, that sort of thing.
Do they
But not necessarily.
do they look like rangers, or like, can I tell, like, either do I know them or can I tell what their station is? Like,
Sure. They look like, townsfolk, sort. They don't. They're not of the Rangers. Like, they're younger. Maybe, probably, like, just, like, 18, 19. So, like, just adults, just, out of,
my age.
yeah. They don't have, like, full on beards yet. Maybe a little wispy still.
Okay.
But they look, they don't look uncapable, like a lot of folk up here. But they, they're definitely not, like, they're not rangers. They're not, like, battle hardened veterans. They don't talk like they've been smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee for 35 years.
All right. I don't know. I just, I thought, hey, with this group of people, like, it's a good time to observe others and see how they're acting.
Mhm.
Is that, like, what was it? The mean girl that was bothering Gunder. What's her name?
Haldis.
Like, is she here?
God, I hope not.
Yeah, for a while I thought maybe she would be, but I realistically, I don't think that she would be.
Okay.
These are like two disparate circles. That would be her circle and this circle. like most of the people, like other than you all, like and the Rangers, it's mostly like folk. Most of the other folk who are here are like some of the they're more like out farmstead folk that obviously like know and probably have known the Rangers for a while, and Vidar probably knows quite a few of them, you know, at least in passing, because some of them might be on different routes that you take in your patrols of the north. You know, and there's probably a few like in town folk here, but yeah.
I guess maybe just generally I'll ask around to see if you know, what are the reports of other like houses, farmsteads getting attacked by Draugr or bandits or both, that kind of stuff.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Do the
Let's
real business.
Yeah, let's go with a persuasion roll.
Okay.
I'm all about the rolls. Oh, Astrid is
Okay.
on fire.
That's right. You guys are enjoying yourself. I'm all like spying and like trying to put pieces together.
Yeah, Gunder is
so
jamming out.
that would be a 20, dirty 20.
I just imagine Gunder like dancing.
Let me roll it. Let me roll a percentile roll. 79. You kind of make your way around, and you know, and some people are kind of talking about this sort of thing, and so some of this you're kind of overhearing, you know, and like would you like actively ask people as well, or are you more in the eavesdrop land right now?
I think I would eavesdrop.
Okay.
I'm not sure I know a lot of these people, and I probably don't want to go like just run up to everyone and introduce myself.
Hello, I'm Astrid. What can you tell me about the bandit attacks?
How do you feel about Baldur?
Have you heard? Have
Baldur
you
is
felt the
good?
love of our Lord and Savior Baldur? His pain is eternal.
Totally,
Yeah, you
totally.
know, yeah. I think you know, there's a few, you know, it's kind of a topic that's happening right now. So, you know, people are definitely talking about that thing, and there's a couple of folk who, you know, like their neighbor, you know, there's maybe let's see, one's too small of a number. Oh, there we go. 6. Let's go with 6. There's, you know, you maybe hear about like six people or 6 groups who are like, yeah, you know, my neighbor, maybe some stuff like, you know, the neighboring farmstead was attacked, you know, and you know, maybe by Draugr, or you know, we were going to check on you know, our neighbors. You know, we got word, and so we went to kind of help round people up, and you know, we came upon them, and they were being attacked by bandits, you know, and you know, and maybe a couple of people died, and but we drove off the bandits. And let me do one of these. Yeah, and you know, nobody seems to necessarily talk about, say, somebody being taken, which has been obviously a topic on a number of yours' minds, is a thing that you keep running into.
Right.
But thankfully, nobody is talking about somebody being taken, at least here. But yeah, you know, attacks are happening. Both bandit and Draugr. wise.
Okay.
Um,
All
Yeah.
right. It seems disturbingly widespread.
okay. Anyone else? Anyone else got anything they would like to? Any scenes they would like to have here at the party? No, nothing. Nothing from you. Are you watching YouTube videos, Stieg?
No,
Okay.
I'm paying attention.
All right.
I was.
The
No,
way
no,
you
I
said
was.
that leads me to believe that.
Busted.
I was internally debating whether or not I wanted to do something, but I'm
Okay.
old.
All right. That's right. I'm only kidding. Yeah, and so the night continues, and you can continue to partake as you like. Go to sleep as you like, whether it's in a snowbank or perhaps you've made it all the way to your bed, depending on how sauced you would like to get.
Gunder, while drunk, is still going to make sure that at least Stieg and Astrid make it like out of the camp and mostly back to town.
Okay.
Because he's gonna have to peel off right before town to go out to his farmstead.
Mhm.
Before he goes, he's gonna find Vitter and just walks up, rocks a little bit back and forth in the way you do when you're heavily sauced.
He'll
And
put his
just gives
hand on your
Vitter-
shoulder to steady you. Yes, my friend.
And just gives Vitter the biggest bear hug of his life.
Oh.
Just picks him up, bear
Oh.
hugs him, gives him back and forth, thrashing slightly like he's a piece of meat, puts him down, pats him on the head, and then heads out.
Okay.
All right. All right. And yeah, we can conclude this portion. So I have mentioned to you, my friends, that we could say partake in some downtime, and there'll be like a week of time where we have the ability that a free time essentially to explore avenues of your choosing, and whether it's making stuff or whatever, using the downtime rules that we are appointed with in both the Dungeon Master's Guide. Wow, I can't fucking talk. The DMG and the Xanathar's Guide to Everything, the ZGE, the DMG and the ZGE. Wait, XGE. Damn it. So, and we can be a little loose about it if there's things that that you want to say accomplish or learn or do or what have you. But I will, of course, assure you that there will be no assault on the town, at least for a week.
Not unless we make it happen, guys.
Right, not unless you like go out and like, you bandits, your mother smells of hamsters, and then they of course all attack. Or guinea pigs. It could be guinea pigs. The ultimate food
Elderberries.
stuff. The ultimate food stuff.
Guinea pig stuffed with elderberries?
Yep.
Delicious
Anyway,
queen.
yeah. We also have to do a level up thing for a level up montage or event, of course, still for Gunder.
Gunder.
So I've just been full disclosure. Michael and I have talked about this. Everybody out there in the internet land, I kind of talked with everybody about what they wanted to do. So Michael and I have talked about it very, very briefly. Do you have an idea of how to contextually facilitate such an action, Michael?
I have an idea, but it requires some specific things.
Okay. I mean, I know, we texted today and we brought up the term duel was brought up.
Well, a fight or a challenge. It's Gunder. Yeah. He's the type of person that if someone were like, I'm declaring a home gang against this old person to take their money, Gunder's the type of asshole that would be like, yeah, I'm their champion. At the end of the day, he's just Wayne from Letterkenny.
That's fair.
Shoring and scrapping.
Ferda.
So, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I've had a hard time figuring out like what to do for that. Like, because that could be a big thing. It could be a small thing. Right.
I mean, we could have him fight Unks to the Feared.
I mean, we
could.
Chance, but I don't know if we're there in the narrative.
How many new characters does Michael want to go through?
Yeah.
Well,
that thing might be too big.
So, for example, like we have that group of, ne'er-do-well or like jealous kids that were 18 to 19-year-olds that were gossiping about Vidar getting freed. So, I mean, maybe they decide to like start some trouble. I don't know.
I got it. I can roll. That was going to be a different thing, but I can roll some stuff together. No.
I mean,
we can dance this. We're going to dance it.
Want Stieg to get in over his head somewhere?
I mean, the tenets of Thor are courage and challenge. So those are the things he's all about. Challenge seems like the most reliable one there.
We could do a quick bio break and then come back and rock on with this duel thing.
Let's do it. Let's take a bio break. My friends in internet land, we are going to take a short break of perhaps 10 minutes.
A short break of epic proportions.
10 minutes. Please remember during the break that we'll be back. So don't go anywhere, please. We appreciate you. Also, we're giving away, thanks to our sponsors, Dream of Storytellers, the entire catalog of PDFs of the Svilland content. 4 books, 3 books, 1 adventure. That adventure involves going a Viking and fighting werewolves. So all of the things that are good in life.
So worth it. And it's pretty sweet. DRS into the chat right here in Twitch live. Also, if you're so inclined and you want to say, hey, you guys are cool, thank you, here's 100 bits, whatever that is, it would give somebody advantage. You could be like, Astrid, she's cool, 100 bits, cheers, hype, or pie, whatever emoji you want to add to that. It's an emoji.
I like pie.
Phoenix. It's one of Phoenix's emoji is pie. And yeah, you can do that. But anyway, we'll be back in 10 minutes. So we'll see you shortly. right, we're back. I hope your break was as good as ours was. I stood outside and felt the change in humidity level as it began to rain harder. It was very nice.
Yeah.
It's only like 60, 68 here where I live, but it was very humid today until right now when all of that humidity fell out of the air in the form of rain.
Dude, it's not
Yeah.
raining here, and it's still like 90 degrees.
Oh, gross. Move to
It's
Duluth.
like
Yeah.
101 today.
I'm
I think.
sorry.
Oh,
You should move to
Jenny
Duluth.
Apple
It's just
Yeah.
better up here.
Actually, no,
for-
don't move to Duluth. Anybody who's watching this, you don't want to live here. It's terrible. Don't move to Duluth. It's horrible.
especially if you're in the outdoor
wouldn't
and
like
adventure education business. Don't come to
You
here.
wouldn't like
Don't
it.
come here.
No, don't come here.
It's
not
hard
worth
enough
it.
to find
It's not worth it.
jobs. Anyway, so we're gonna do a little bit of rewindy because I had a better idea than an idea that I was happening. Thanks to wonderful collabs with my friends, my players, my Svilanders. So we are, of course, back at the party, back at night around a fire. Meat is flowing. The fat juices are
Is
are-
this a
are
flesh
dripping
cradle
down
situation?
chins. It's a flesh cradle.
Flowing.
Oh my
It's
god,
a-
why?
Okay.
It's not a flesh. No, it's not that. Meat and ale is flowing. People are getting meat sweats, perhaps, because of all the stag that they're
Vidar's
eating.
already changed into his meat sweats.
It's like it's like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Like
Meat
the
suit.
the meat suit. I think it first happens that two of the rangers start to have a bit of a discussion that grows in volume, level, louder and louder. And maybe at some point a drink is spilled, and a grapple is gained, and someone is thrown handily to the ground, and perhaps a circle is formed around them by whoever is there, and the proud tradition of drunk meat fighting happens.
Meat fighting.
Drunk
And,
meat fighting.
The minute it becomes
Man,
obvious that it's like oh no, we're just having a series of good tussle, Gundar is like, because he's talking up Rackle for fun, sees what's going on, just kind of slams his drink down, hauls himself to his feet,
Uh-huh.
bellows with just deep laughter, and just wades on over.
So my question to you is, who are you going to fight?
I guess a question of kind of what are the mechanics, or is it a ring because two people are fighting, or is it like a fight club
there's
scenario?
those kind of dudes fight, and then those first two dudes fight, and maybe like somebody else comes out, and fights one of them, and then that goes away, and then there's like this slow progression of people fighting each other. Not, I guess, in some ways, not unlike Fight Club. This isn't a mosh pit. There isn't hardcore dancing happening. Although maybe some people are fighting in a way that could be considered hardcore dancing because they suck at it. This is a little slap and tickle. You know how it goes. I
imagine it's just,
meat drunk fights.
Kind of at some point, just a couple guys go and then Gundar just steps forward a little bit, another guy does, and it's just kind of a
Okay.
and he doesn't care who it is. He's
Okay.
just as
Paint us a word picture of this guy. What does this guy look like? use some descriptive characteristics of this man or woman. I mean, I'm not picky.
I have like 3 ideas now, but first, probably we'll start with just, one of the, not the young bucks, but the guys who've been at it for a little bit, someone who's, got their teeth red, but is, still not, high up on the totem pole, just someone who, came out and he was also looking for, are we doing this? And Gundar's just like, yes, we're doing this.
All right. Let me do this really quick. I don't know if that's the thing. No, that's not a thing. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Please give me a perhaps how do you seek to engage this feller?
This is a scrap. You just kind of
are you the sort of person who is going to perhaps, while not mechanically proficient in something that one would say is Glima, aka would you use the Rassilin powers, or are you more of a pugilist? Are you a do you fight with your fists?
Well, as I'm taking my next level in monk, what I'm thinking is, wait, no, stop, reverse that. No, he is a fist fighter, and he is if you've either read the book American Gods or seen the show, the Mad Leprechaun, the guy who's just happy to be here, swinging for the fucking bleachers, just throwing big, getting hit and laughing about it, that uproariously fun for the joy of it fighting. That is how Gundar fights in this occasion.
Okay. Here, let me do one of these really quick. Let's do. Okay. Oh yeah. Never mind. That's 6. 8 plus 5 is 13. Okay. He's not a big dude. Let's do some. Let's call it maybe, perhaps athletics rolls.
Athletics would be delightful. Let's see. I'm rolling now. I got a 13 plus 5. That's an 18.
All right, and I rolled a 3. That is category. That is a factor of 10 smaller than your roll. That's probably
is that
not
too
true.
drunk?
I hope so.
Yes. He's in the sweet spot.
Could be.
He's in the sweet spot where you can bowl for like 2 frames
and play
and
pool.
you're a kingpin. But as soon as you come out of it, like 1 half beer later, you're done.
Yep.
He's in that spot. You give him an exchange. You exchange fists with him, and he is handled well by you. At first, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next. Let us do this again.
That's only a 24.
Oh.
I rolled really well, but I don't have the bonuses that you have. He maybe surprises you a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm not. Oh, nope. Now I'm down. And you knock him down a couple of times, and he wants to get back up, but his legs don't really work very well, because you hit him a lot in the face.
Gundar at that point will just kind of reach down, help him up, kind of help steady him, and just kind of walk him off towards the edge where someone else can grab him.
And perhaps now is when a larger person kind of like grabs a hold of him and like pushes him aside and does one of these. you know, like to the chest, you know, like the chest chop, perhaps.
I mean,
A
I hope he
very-
actually does it.
Perhaps he is a very blonde individual. And he looks you dead in the eye and says, "Woo."
Oh yes. Oh,
What do you
yes.
do?
Just grab his shoulders and headbutt him.
All right. Yeah, should we keep going with athletics? Is that
Yeah,
is that good? All right. You're gonna beat up everybody today. Yeah, you headbutt him. You grab him and headbutt him.
Whoa.
This is like every wrestling video game. It's just a pop, you break this guy's nose. It is an audible crack. And he kind of he doesn't like it. He's going to get angry at that. And he kind of staggers back and
He's
stangry. Yeah. I like it. And his eyes kind of refocus, and he kind of gets like he kind of goes over the edge a little bit, and is going to make a grab at you. I'm going to use one of my advantages.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, you can go ahead and make your roll as well.
That's a total of 15.
All right.
Wow.
He grabs at you, and you maybe try to shirk out of the way, but in his rage, perhaps, you are unable to kind of get out, and he kind of grabs you around the waist, and in a very picturesque arc, those of you who are watching, he lifts Gunder handily off the ground and over behind his back in a perfect belly to belly suplex. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. What do you do?
Does the suplex end with the both people being held, or do they bounce apart in this case?
It doesn't. I mean, it's the ground. It's wintertime. I'm not narratively tied to either option.
So Gundr could roll like one roll away, pop up to his feet. Whap.
Nice.
13.
Yeah, you hit him right in the face, right in the same nose. It's now like one way and the other way. It's like the
Ugh.
two ways.
Ouch.
Maybe it's like flat now. It was just cockeyed. Now it's like flat. And yeah, he grins. And I think we'll do one more. We'll do one more exchange.
Do one more.
He is he kind of grins and is going to do a similar exchange. And now it's the slap fight, or the stand
manly
up
slap fight.
the stand up and punch each other in the face until somebody falls over fight. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Oh no. And he you guys do a few of those, bah, 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 and then he kind of he looks at the crowd and he goes, "Woo!" My wife is sleeping, otherwise I would really do it, and I'd probably blow up my mic if I really gave a woo. And then just bop, and you kind of like stagger back. You get a little weak in the knees. You don't go down, but you're like, oh. I mean, to be fair though, this guy also looks fucked up. And he kind of grins, and everybody's like, yeah.
And Gunter's like, yeah, come here, lad, come here.
Yeah. And he kind of like, yeah. And then you do the
do the hug, and just Gunter grabs both sides of his face, leans back, and goes, "Thor love you, my friend." And there's a distant roll of thunder, and I will give him back a number of hit points using lay on hand to kind of fix up the broken nose.
Yeah. It's still fucked up.
It's still fucked up, but it's not bleeding, and now it's stuck that way as a reminder. Gunter's helping.
That's the real work of cure wounds and lay on hands, like forcing somebody to be stuck with a wound. It's not a healing of scars. It's a freeze frame. Maybe
wonderful.
Not, I don't know. Yeah. And now you, my friend, are leveled up. Please roll some hit points.
Congratulations.
7. Very
7
nice.
plus, what is my constitution?
Whoa.
2, so I get 9 more, which is good. I'm the tank. That's what I'm here to do.
Very nice. I like it. Now, to get on with the week, does anyone have any? Some of you I've talked to. Does anyone want to kind of kick things off? Does anyone have ideas of things that they would like to accomplish during this week?
I mean, Gunder's is simple. He's gonna be chorin.
Okay.
Like, he spent a couple of days not tending the farm, and sure, it's the dead of winter, but you still got to move hay from one side to the other, if Letterkenny has taught me anything. More importantly, there are actual, winter chores to do. He's still one man fixing up a large farmstead, which was decrepit for 10 years. And he's been here for 7 or 8, but there's always something new that needs working on, or something that he's not content with. So, working on the farm, hanging out with the cat. It's bucolic as hell in his life there.
And remind me again, and the viewers, you run this by yourself?
Yes,
I know you have relatives in the area, but they have their own place. You have a sister.
Correct. He has a sister, but she married a nice fellow. They have their own farmsteads and kid, the other side of some fields, and he helps out there too. But he also has this farmstead, which I feel like the farmstead is more than he can actually work. So there's like a small bit that is actually doing anything, and then lots of field he just keeps clear in case later.
All right, let me
clear and field.
I mean, you would likely rent that out to somebody else to till if you're not going to.
Or just graze sheep.
If Gunder were a practical man, he would definitely be doing at least the first. He's most likely just doing the second. It has actually probably been pointedly noticed in town that, Gunder, you could hire people to help or rent this out or do something else with the land. No, I like how it is, to a certain unreasonable degree.
Okay. Yeah, why? Oh boy. I don't know. Let us make a farm roll for you.
Animal handling?
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like animal handling is probably honestly the closest. And yeah, it's a wisdom roll that would make sense. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do it.
That's a 17.
That's a 17.
Nice.
Let me do one of these. Interesting. Oh.
Those are some low rolls.
Yeah, well, like, you know,
Well,
I want to
Gunter was
use
a good
the downtime rules. So I'm like, oh, what is like working the farm like? There is
I
a
think that
downtime
would be a
activity
work
called
roll
work. Yeah,
if we're
yeah.
using Xanathar's guide.
And so of course there is a 10% chance for every week spent doing work of a complication. I rolled a 4. Which definitely puts you into a complication. So then I rolled a d6 and rolled a 1, which is a difficult customer or a fight with a coworker reduces the wages you earn by 1 category. But realistically, you're not earning wages at this point. You're doing work for yourself. You are in that sad category of individual, the business owner, who neither makes money nor loses money, but just
tax man still cometh. There's still a tax man.
Yeah. Is the coworker an animal?
I don't know. Well, it would. I mean, that would make more sense than it just being him. Like he gets in a fight with himself.
Oh, that goat rams him real good.
Yeah.
But
the goat has rammed him and knocked him over, and he's lost money because after that he decided it was time to have some roast.
Yeah.
So
odele, hee-ho?
Yeah, you are. Well, yeah, let's say you are down 1 goat. That is money. That is wages earned.
That's money out the door.
Yeah. But it is also goat in the belly.
And also, he could still have made money that week by selling parts and sending some goat rib down to the inn for people. It's like, here you go.
And what was your? I'm sorry. What was your that roll
17.
again? 17. A comfortable lifestyle.
God, I had this looked last week and I've now forgotten all of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's put 10 gold in your pocket. I don't know.
I think that's about right.
That's the number. Yeah. Yeah, you work for a week. You do chores. Maybe you tackle some of those things that you've been like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get to that, and then you never do. And then there was, of course, adventure to be had, and then you, of course, weren't doing that, and now you're like, oh well, I guess nothing's really going on around town right now. Things are kind of
that damn fence.
in a lull. Yeah, and you kind of
That's when the goat had a problem.
Yeah, the goat. Yeah, maybe you were moving hay and you didn't secure like a thing enough, and so you're out doing your other chore, and then you get like fucking blindsided by this goat, as all good goat attacks are, absolute blindsides. Because strangely enough, like the Spanish Inquisition, nobody expects a goat. You should, but no one does.
One less coworker.
One less coworker.
Which is always good. That's always a good thing.
Right. Someone else had a hand up.
I did.
Paya.
I'm grabbing.
What do you got?
Gerda. I'm grabbing Gerda.
Okay.
My intern. And we're gonna go check in on Amelie. Woman who was due in 7 days when I said, like, I'm not going anywhere for 7 days. So we're going to go and probably deliver Amelie's baby.
I like it. That could also very well fall into the context of work.
Yep.
I don't know. Let me just briefly peruse really quick. Yeah, I think that's going to be the one that makes the most sense. Yes, work.
See, gainfully employed.
So please give me your work role, which would be in this case like what medicine role, I suppose. Yeah. Your midwifery role.
That is 7 plus 4, so that's only it's only an 11.
That's an 11. That's not bad.
If I need to cast spells on her, I will.
All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, there's no complication. That was going to get real awkward. I would have done it. That would have been unfortunate, but we don't have to cross that bridge.
I would have started with, cure wounds and the
Yeah.
charming, and whether it was charming her or the baby or father, whatever.
Yeah, so tell us. So I don't know. Walk us through. We haven't you've talked about like the sort of thing that you do a bit, at least with me. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Specific,
So
but tell us what does this look like? What does this sound like?
it sounds like Paya uses her drums and her flute and her jaw harp to kind of help keep a rhythm, to keep a tempo going, to make sure that her breathing is there. She's able to charm. She needs to charm someone, to charm the baby, to charm the mother, to get the baby to turn, whatever those complications are. She'll use some of that skills in making sure things come out smoothly. She's got an ability to get, if someone needs to laugh, she's got this ability to bring laughter. If someone is freaking out, not doing what they need to do, or being abusive in a situation, because sometimes men are indeed present in these births if they want to name the baby. She brings them in because Paya is also very adamant that in a lot of the religions of this time, there's a lot about suffering, there's a lot about agony, there's a lot about gods wanting war and agony and pain, and she is there to watch these men who don't know where they came from. She's telling them that this is where they came from. This is what their mother did. This is what their wives did. This is where their sons come from. This is how their sons and their daughters come into this world. There's no man god that does this. This is woman's work.
Mm-hmm.
And this agony, if you cannot tolerate this, you're like a general who does not fight in the trenches. So you must watch this blood, you must watch this agony, you must be part of it, you must know that this is where life is, because it's not just suffering, it's not just hell, it's birth and it's spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's blood and guts and placenta, and there's probably something gross with placenta in the end. Some eating it, some smearing it, and then there's washing, and their baby is washed, and
the best.
And it is
fresh snow, perhaps.
Warm water. Mage hand is often sometimes around as well. In this case, is when Paya will most likely use her mage hand, so she's got an extra hand if she needs it.
No, I said grab that blanket.
Yep.
Between that and cure spells, that's so much better.
I'm gonna be real right now, man. D&D Magic Bards, like that's such a oh no, you're gonna push,
You're gonna
and then be like charm, haha, or whatever.
breathe, breathe.
Yeah,
like baby.
Good.
Oh, you're looking like you're footling. No, baby, turn.
Yeah.
Baby, turn. You're charmed. I'm turning you. You've got.
That's good. I like it.
Yep. That's what Paya does most of the time. That's where that's how she knows what these, that's how she knows what this magic is. She can do psychic damage. She can do healing. She can do charms. She can build you up. She also will throw out some inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
She'll inspire you to be able to keep going.
Safe against passing out from seeing all of that, if she likes the guy, maybe.
Yeah, she doesn't. She really only curses him. Like he gets some vicious mockery. That's where the psychic damage comes in.
Mm-hmm.
She will always be the one who gets the inspiration.
What's
maybe the baby?
In your idea of this kind of this instance, what is the sort of how is the father? Like, is this a combative father? Is he into it? Like, is he, probably how most of us are, like, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I think he's present. I think he's there. I think with an 11, he's not. He's coming out. I think with an 11, he's coming out sheepish and maybe more in awe. But I don't think that's going to stick with him.
Okay.
I don't think he's really gonna. I don't think the learning is gonna stick. I think it's just gonna be something that's. But I might not know. Maybe he's wrong. Like, I just think he's young and kind of foolish and had no idea what he was getting himself into, and now he's like, oh, okay. But he gets to name the baby.
Yeah. And there's the the very much the concept of immortality via lineage that happens specifically in the cultures that this is conceptualized from, for sure.
I think Amelie needs a couple of stitches, and that's why it was also an 11.
Okay.
But that's also something we're able to take care of.
Yeah. What I'm sorry, what your apprentice, how does she do?
She's fine, but she doesn't have that extra. Maybe that's also part of it, is I let her do a lot more. And so it was a much more traditional type
a little
thing.
A little less magic birth,
a little less magic,
birth.
a little bit more mundane. Because I'm really trying to transition to let her do what she needs to do, because I also need to, there's this other thing that's going on. Might not be able to be here all the time.
Nice. Yes. Right. I like it. How do you receive? What's your idea about how you receive compensation?
Mostly, probably a lot in favor and a little in, a lot in social status and a little bit in,
trade goods.
Like, do you take? So you don't take coin, but you might
not
take.
a lot of coin.
You might
Sometimes
take
favor
material.
Sometimes, but mostly consumable materials. And sometimes I will just take, oftentimes it's wool that can be spun.
Sure.
Or knit or something. Like, I'll take.
You, based on this chart, you receive about let's say 6 gold worth of materials of your choosing.
Bring it back and bring it back to the inn and let it circulate through there.
Yeah. What next? What else you guys got?
I got something.
Tell me your stories.
Someone else wants to go first. All right. Vidar, I rolled earlier. He definitely noticed that Paya left.
Okay.
The festivities, and it might be the next day, perhaps.
Okay.
That he stops by the inn with food and some of the provisions from the celebration that he brings to her, and leaves for her without engaging with her. He just leaves it, maybe with someone else at the inn, not wanting to, understanding that there was something that happened, because he's very, he's got a high wisdom, but not necessarily wanting to engage in the discussion because he's got a very low charisma. But he does that, and then he sets out for a bit of a walkabout in the nearby forests surrounding Molgor with two objectives. One is he is seeking out the perfect yew bow to construct a yew longbow. And the other objective is he is seeking out whatever would be akin to a fly-agaric Amanita genus mushroom, which he would make a tea from, that he knows well from speaking with some of the elders of the Gorm's Rangers, who often embark on like a vision quest kind of thing, so that he could make a bit of a tea that would allow him to perhaps tap into a side of his lineage that he has not known for some time. Now that he is free and has tasted a bit of the idea of freedom, he seeks to try to reconnect with what he was before, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Let's see. Perhaps then we need either a survival or a knowledge, like a knowledge. God damn it, third edition. Either survival or a nature roll.
I will go survival because now, as a third level Scotty Ranger, I have advantage on survival checks.
Yeah, since you are, of course, permanently within your favorite terrain here in the north.
21.
21, nice. Yeah, you find a super nice specimen of you find you and you through mushrooms. Yeah, you find a really nice spec of you for to make a bow stave out of. Absolutely. Is that are you intending to fashion this yourself during this week?
That will be part of the part of the experience, or the part of the quest that he is on. Yeah.
Do you have skill at tools?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
That's okay. This is how one learns skills. Let's see, tools.
If only I had an advantage to ensure my success. Pete, where are you, Pete? God damn it!
Let us maybe go with a.
Oh, Valkyrie bait, you are so sweet. You
an intelligence roll, I guess. I think that works.
I'm gonna need the advantage. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the advantage, Valkyrie bait, you sweetheart. Intelligence roll.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's gonna be a 16.
Yeah. Yeah, you've seen other members of the Rangers craft bows and carve them, and you've seen them be choosy about where the bow stave is from, what part of the wood, not the heartwood, it's the middle wood, it's not the outer wood, yeah, it's it's your first bow, so it's a little rough and ready, but yeah, it's great. You carve a bow. It's a yew longbow.
You'll love.
and you take a look around. You spend some time as well during the week, and when you were out for looking for the you do in fact with that roll you made a really good roll. Find this fungi
Oh.
that you are of course looking for, and
He doesn't really know how to, like, he's not well versed, but he does have an herbalism kit, but
Yeah.
he has not done it before.
okay,
But he's called to it. It's almost like
Yeah.
calling to him, really.
yeah, you I think maybe I don't know, you dry it perhaps
Mhm.
near the fire, smoke it out as it were, and then
Make
don't
a
know.
tea.
Make a tea, grind it into a powder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've
All
never made
that.
mushroom tea before, so I don't know
Yeah,
how this goes. But that sounds right.
That'll
Yeah,
do it. Yeah.
that sounds right. And yeah, do you where are you going to where do you seek your vision?
Well, he's always accompanied by Iceland, his spiritual companion, really. And he focuses on the amulet that he wears, usually hidden underneath his cloak and his vestments or his shirt. And really what he's trying to do is the only person he has the very vivid memory of from his life before Gorm is his grandmother. He doesn't even remember his parents, but his grandmother, it was so imprinted on him that he remembers her face. He remembers the sound of her voice, and he focuses on that as a means to kind of connect with whatever it was that he was before this time.
This. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Mostly my question was about where physically are you engaging in this process?
This would be
in your bunk out in the woods.
Oh no, this would be probably very nearby where he found the mushroom. It would be in that same stand of trees, for example.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you imbibe this tea, and for a while, you're drinking it and you're kind of considering these things, these memories, these images in your mind, and you're like, this fucking tea is bullshit. This, like it probably takes a little while for things to get interesting, to get weird, as it were.
We've all been there.
And yeah, that's true.
Well, I'll just take a little more. It'll be fine.
that's right. This can't hurt. I'm gonna make another cup.
Yeah.
And at first, you're like, oh yeah, like maybe you're really kind of focusing on that, like on your grandmother memory, and it's not like really doing anything. And then you are, you're kind of considering Iceland, and Iceland's, maybe perched on a tree branch, nearby, just kind of watching, and you're feeling relaxed. It's a you got a little fire going. It's a warm drink, and the feathers on your body are helping insulate you from the warmth. This branch is sturdy. that you're sitting on, and your friend is enjoying his cup of tea, and it's you feel called to the sky, and perhaps there's a mouse that you can smell or hear, with your ear holes, your bird ears, and you kind of take flight, and it's probably at this point that there's a part of you that is like, wait a minute, I'm I'm not a bird, I'm a man. Oh wait, I'm a bird.
Man-bird.
And man bird. Harvey Birdman, attorney at law. And but you're kind of caught up in this moment, this hunt, and it's a familiar sort of feeling, one that you've had before. The heart beats faster. The scent of the prey, fills your mind, your body, and in prime owl fashion, you careen into a snowbank, after this mouse, this your quarry, and the the snow is nice and fluffy. It's not that hard, ice crystally snow that doesn't feel great all the time. And you kind of stand up and brush yourself off, and your grandmother offers you a mug of warm tea, as often she would after you had engaged in frolicking in the winter, perhaps with your local fellows, the local hooligans, the other kids around this place where you have of course grown up, um, and you sit with her, and she has the sort of snacks that you like, and because as a grandmother, I think all grandmothers through time will give you all of the snacks,
Best.
and there is a knock, perhaps at the door, but not the normal door, like the side door, and she sets down her mug and goes to the door. A curious small door, set at about head height, in the wall, and she opens it, and a uh, a, a kind of pouch is kind of pushed through this door, and she takes, you see, give me a d20 roll. Yeah.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. You see, she attempts to obscure, perhaps her action, from you, but a child who are you to view me interact with this tiny door? Um, and
What is it,
she
Grandmama?
she turns and kind of hush now, and you see she attempts to obfuscate it, but you see a she draws out of her sleeve a almost like a a stick, a wand, perhaps a long object, perhaps like an icicle, um, perhaps a wand of ice, or like some that kind of imagery, right? After all, it's still a mushroom dream,
I'm high as fuck.
and yeah, yeah, right. And she slides it through the door, and the last the last closing section of this vision, um, as she kind of sets it there and then closes the door, you get the distinct sight of um oh, what the fuck are they called? Veins? You know, like arrow veins, feathers, as the door closes. And it is cold. There's a bird on your head. And the fire has gone out. You are thirsty. Oh, so thirsty. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got. That's
All
what
right.
you get.
I like it.
And you're gonna like it. So you have a yew longbow, and
And a
whatever
vision.
you want to take
A
from that,
trippy-ass
whatever you want
vision
to take
this
from
time.
that vision quest.
High as fuck, man.
All right. There are two of my friends left to partake in these activities.
Okay. Well, Astrid has several jobs.
Oh,
One
she's
of
a working
which,
girl.
well, I have to keep somehow.
That's right.
This economy.
Not a working girl. I mean, a working girl.
Oh man,
No,
awkward.
no. You have many work. You have much work.
Yeah. So
Just want
I
to make that
help.
clear.
I help out at the inn where I stay,
Yep.
waiting tables, cleaning up, that kind of stuff. Whatever needs to happen to make the inn work. And then Haldora, the daughter of the innkeeper, she has her side business, which is an herbalist business. And so I help out with that as well, in whatever she needs to have done. So I guess that would be normal stuff that I would do during the week.
Okay. So we can call that work, I think, is the easiest way to go about that.
What do you great adventurers do in your downtime? Day jobs.
We work.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like shit doesn't need to try to kill me every day.
Yeah, not all of us have rich uncles who leave us a small fortune. Like some of us got to just do our day job in between murder.
Amanda, I think you can mute.
In between murder.
Yes, I was gonna say, you could make healing potion with Haldora.
Yep, that's
Maybe. Though I'd have to look a little bit more into the game mechanics of that.
It is one of them
Downtime.
listed actually in the
One of the listed downtime
Yeah.
activities.
Yep.
It do herbalism shit.
a person would call it crafting an item. Yes, we could do that. You could easily make some potions, things like that. if you want. It's up
I
to
don't
you.
have those skills, so
You have Haldora, so you could always have her as an assistant or as a teacher, and she'll train you.
I thought you had herbalism. You don't
I
have
was
herbalism,
going to,
kit?
but then Peter was gonna take herbalism, and so then I was like, nah, I'll do something different. So
Oh,
I just
okay.
have a healer's kit.
I mean, if you want to do it, I'm down.
I do
Obviously,
not want to do it, but
okay.
everybody else is asking
Okay.
me to do it.
No worries.
So
Oh, you
I
don't have
think we're
to.
just elucidating options.
Do what you want.
okay.
So we can just say we can adjudicate work, which is totally cool. Please give me a work check. Let's say, I think, so we could roll them both into one. So we could either say maybe do, you could say perhaps either persuasion or deception, depending on what kind of server you are and what kind of customers you get that day, or perhaps like a nature or survival role.
Well, I
for
definitely
herbalisy
want to
bits.
do persuasion if I could.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably has
because
advantage on that.
I do have advantage on that. Oh, which is good.
Oh
'cause-
wow. Oh wow.
Oh, stinky. Yeah. So that is but a 9.
A 9. All right, let me do one of these. Okay, you do not earn a complication. A bar fight ensues. It burns down. That's a big complication. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's a weird week, perhaps. Maybe
With all the murders and the bandits and the, undead rising.
yeah. Maybe it's maybe it's you, maybe it's just people in general. It's one of those like, oh man, I've definitely had days at the bar where everybody's obviously in just one of those like medium funks where you're not necessarily angry and combative, and nobody's like necessarily like having a great time, and everyone's just kind of in the middle, and you're just like, yeah, I'm at work, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm drinking.
Okay.
You-
All right. Sure.
I mean, you rolled a 9.
No, it wasn't great. I mean,
does that
not
make sense?
everything can be awesome.
Yeah.
It's just what I did.
Yeah. But you, of course, being at the inn, you hear, people talking and it's probably more, it's probably busier. I would say it's definitely busier because of course there are more people in town that wouldn't necessarily be in town at this time of year for a week straight. So you're able to, you're never want for work, but there's definitely like a weird, kind of weird vibe that's just kind of happening.
Can I get any more gossip? Maybe like
rumors
or like tales of other cities or like news happening.
I think you there's a why don't I have a cool rumors table?
Rumors and secrets, man.
I know. Oh wait, I do have a list. Hang on. You hear one day there's a group. There's like a probably a family, specifically like an extended sort of family, of that are having a meal one day, and it's a good sized group, maybe like seven people, a mix of men and women, and they're you can tell these are like cousins, like they have the look of cousins, and they're all younger, all kind of about the same age, and they have like I think like a number of people that live in Molgor. They have the look of they have the look of those who are not, they're not like mythal. They're not, but they're also not necessarily straight Austri. There's obviously been some intermingling happening, of course, as things happen in a permeable border. And they you hear them talking in kind of hushed tones, which maybe get a little louder, yeah, as perhaps cups are drained, about the about witch lights, or that a few of them have seen at over the old battlefield at where's the name of that fucking place? At a name place that I have written down again somewhere. I always get so far ahead of myself. Boop boop.
Well, it's not like I'm always like poking.
You're always poking.
I am always poking.
And that's
Just
fine. This is what I'm.
Like-
This is what I'm here for.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, awesome! I just have it written down as fucking battlefield. All right, that was great. I really thought I named that. Maybe I didn't save it.
You know
Let's
that
check
they're
this out.
battlefield. Yeah.
Check this out.
It's
Let me
the
do this.
battlefield.
Let me do this. Battlefield name
That's great.
generator.
Battlefield Earth?
What?
The ghost of
Shh, don't
Oh,
talk
God.
about Battlefield Earth. Get a description.
the
Oh,
ghost of
this
John
was-
Travolta's career haunting a battlefield.
Forrest Whitaker. Why were you in that movie? Hang on.
It's okay. We can.
Yeah. Well,
What do I know about witch lights? Do I know anything about witch lights?
give me a we could call it maybe an Arcana roll, or a nature roll, or maybe
They're the
what
same.
yeah, religion probably wouldn't cover it, I don't think.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah, nature or Arcana, perhaps.
okay, that's better. So that's an 18.
Okay. Number one, there's a cool name for this battlefield that they use. I will get it to you. Well, I'll
Okay,
come up with
sure,
it.
sure.
I-
I have confidence
Yeah.
that you will.
And this tale, I think, is one of those like kids doing stuff tales, like,
Scary
oh yeah,
stories
like,
to
yeah,
scare
right,
kids.
like, oh yeah, you go and stay over at you went into the old man's house, that kind of stuff, and so you kind of get the idea, and maybe you haven't necessarily specifically heard of this instance or this happening at like in this place, but you know, it sounds like overhearing it that, you know, that this is something that they probably do. They go out onto the battlefield, this old battlefield that you know of when they use the name. You're like, oh yeah, it's over to the west of town, at the edge of the wood, in that little gap in the woods on the map here, right there where I'm pinning.
Okay.
And
Just the other side of the forest.
yeah, and they kind of describe these lights. They call them you know, witch lights or troll lights perhaps, and they you know, they are almost like candle flames that kind of rise out of the mists, you know, at the time of day that is neither day nor night, that sort of between time, and you know, and they can feel like the cold happening, like, oh, it's getting cold, it's time to leave, you know, and every, you know, and it's almost like you know, like, oh,
Will-o-wisps?
say again.
Will-o-wisps?
I mean, it's a similar effect if you are in fact familiar with will-o'-the-wisps, and which I'm going to get to in a sec, and you know, maybe there's like a marker that's at the battlefield, that is, you know, maybe it's like a a, a like a large, like an oversized spear, perhaps, made of some kind of iron, that is like stuck in a rock on the field, and it's this kind of like spooky thing, that people kind of like don't fuck with it, you know. But of course, kids don't give two shits about that, and so, you know, you run up and you touch it or try to touch it, and if the little lights come out, then you run like hell. It's one of those things.
Don't touch the butt.
Don't touch it or touch it. So people are cool. You know, if they've touched it. And
Now I want
yeah,
to go grab that
Oh.
spear.
yeah, right.
I'm sure
Um,
Gundar tried when he was like 8 and chicken shitted right out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's cursed.
So I think, what was your roll again?
Oh, 18.
18. Okay. You know, you have heard of a number of different phenomenon, that there are spirits that you have heard tale of that can manifest in this sort of way, whether they are spirits of the dead, things like will-o'-the-wisps, as some folk would call them, or be they nature spirits, or natura spirits, or however the hell you say whatever that word is, like the cedar have access to, but they're nature spirits. You have, yeah, so there's, and some of them, you know, there's a similarity between some of these things, that it's always kind of hard to tell. Like, it's hard to tell, like, unless somebody's like, oh yeah, I touched it and it fucking drained my life away, or whatever. So it makes things difficult to determine what they are specifically at sometimes. So there are interesting things afoot. Perhaps a haunted battlefield to the west, that you are now
Okay.
aware of.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Put that on our tour of Molgor later.
Somebody got a side quest unlocked.
And
Well, I'm not going alone.
you earn like a gold piece this week.
Okay.
Hang on, is that right? No, that's per day. Like five gold pieces this week.
All right.
Thank you for the face, Michael. I'm looking at two different charts. One that just says earn this, and one that says, oh wait, this is per day.
Yeah, the math is wonky in how they set that up.
Yeah.
Well, tips are good.
Yeah. Stieg. Hello.
Yes.
Tell us the story of your week, my friend. What capers do you get up to? What shenanigans? I think there's crime in here. You could do some crime, perhaps.
What about raves? Do they have raves in Molgor?
They have raves.
Squirrel raves.
Prestidigitation, flame hands.
Right.
I like it.
No. I would like to. Well,
To rage? Would you like to rage?
I would like to
I would
rage.
like to-
Who would like to rage?
I would like to research
Okay.
and talk to Saymond.
Okay.
And I don't know if those two things can go together or
Sure.
what.
We have smashed a few different things together here today, and we can continue to do so.
Smash it.
What do you got? What are you researching, and what would you like to talk to Saymond about?
Well, I would like to talk to Saymond about where I could possibly find like more runes, more rune lore. Like he obviously got a lot of his knowledge from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Stieg is kind of eager to grow. He feels like he's kind of not that he's learned everything he can learn from Saymond, but that he's feeling the urge to get out there and discover more.
Okay.
So he asks Saymond, how can these runes be found? Where can I go? Is there a place that with more people like us?
There's this iron spear in a battlefield.
Right.
I don't know anything about that yet.
Field trip.
Let's say.
That sounds amazing.
Why don't you? Make a Let's start with a persuasion roll, please, if you would.
All right. All right. Plus 2, 18.
Wow, everyone's rolling super
Hell yeah.
okay,
Super okay.
and across the spectrum of things.
Well, I mean, there was the coworker incident, but
There was, yeah. It's
I didn't
Look,
even get
the-
an incident. It's just, it was good.
Look, the inn has a lovely couple of evenings of nice goat ribs, maybe a nice
Right.
goat haunch. No complaints.
Could have been worse.
hang on, I'm trying to find one thing really quick, and it's. I know what the picture looks like. I just don't know what the fucking chapter is called.
Is that the equivalent of like a pizza party? Like in
Goat party?
times. Here's some goat ribs. You're doing a great job.
Pretty much.
Yes. Here we go. Yeah. He. he says to you that the the runes in these in this fashion, right? Specifically these runes that are efficacious spells are found where they lie. The experience of looking, of searching, of the struggle for knowledge in the world brings you to the runes in their way. Just as, okay, that's a bad example. Odin just kind of grabbed him, but he gave his eye for such knowledge and hung himself, a sacrifice of himself to himself, and ultimately for himself. That's a vicious circle.
The important point is,
Go ahead.
the important part is there's no Scandinavian runic Hogwarts.
I was just gonna say, did Seaman just say to put out your eye and hang yourself to get some runes? It's awkward.
Much.
Well, there
Hey,
might
Even is
be,
not the greatest teacher.
the way you could read that is there might be some sacrifice involved, like
He-
personal sacrifices of time and effort and blood and sweat and tears,
Eyeballs.
It is,
and the blood of your enemy.
he definitely says,
Just
you
Runes
know,
need eyes, eyeballs.
he equates, that of course we have been doing this long enough that there are, the records, much as I have accumulated stones and scrolls and books of things, my tomes, the answers to be found in those fashions, but a lot of it is also through experimentation and work. And he, maybe as an example, he says he takes you over to his table, and he says, see this here, and he shows you, and he carves out a few runes. This is the thing I've been working on, and he scroll. Oh, there we go. Too far. He carves out. Let's see. He carves out the rune Ansu's, which is if that's how you say it. My fake Scandinavian isn't always great.
Best.
It's the best. The
As
rune of
far as
magic.
we know.
Yeah,
That's
the rune
very
of
good.
magic. He carves out Gipt, or I would call it Gabo, but it's Gipt here in Svilland, or the rune of gift, the rune of gifting, and he carves out. I think I want to go with Hjorth, the rune, a rune of primal and of primal nature and layers and sometimes other things, the compression of time, and he says, I've been working on this, I've kind of seen this thing, and I've had this idea and he then kind of carves a stave of those 3 runes, and he says, and he says like, "Oh, check this out," as he does, and he says some cool magical words, and mumbo jumbo, Svenonoli, and he he makes he kind of makes almost an equivalent of the form of that stave, kind of in a hand sign, maybe like in the show The Magicians, because man, I really like that about that show. They do that shit really cool. And his you see as he kind of finishes this kind of chant, this incantation, his a almost spectral hand kind of forms of his hand, and it grows of large size, and there is bristling spectral fur and large black spectral claws like a bear's claw. And he said, and it's like, so he has like this big bear's claw of a hand, and then he smashes a rock with it, and it's pretty epic. And then it goes away. He says, I mean, this took me 5 years to like get right, but that's pretty sweet.
Was pretty awesome.
So why don't you go ahead and give me a let's call it an Arcana roll.
All right. There we are. Okay. Oh God.
3.
Not great. Oh, it's +5 though. 8.
Oh, nice. 8. Yeah. You this isn't a spell. As an example, this isn't a spell that you can currently cast.
Mhm.
But you get an idea. It's in your brain a little bit. Not great. It's only an 8. But it's, the seed is there for whatever this spell is, whatever this combination of runes could lead you to. We'll figure out what that means later.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Does that satisfy you, my friend?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is everyone satisfied with their downtime?
I could do some more choring, but that'll do.
That's right. There's never a lack of chores on the fucking farm. That's for sure.
Slaughtering some more goats or something.
Yeah. Towards the end of the week, of this time, there's some inclement weather that happens. A snowstorm, a snow thunder storm happens. It's not particularly destructive. This isn't like this it's not as much, say, snowfall as happened I guess realistically only like a week and a half ago or whatever, right? 2 weeks ago about, right? But it's a decent amount of snow. There's a lot of wind. There's thunder and lightning, which isn't necessarily a super common thing as far as the winter goes. Those of you who are I don't know, one person might say especially pious. Another person might say superstitious fools. However you want to look at such a thing.
Why not both?
Why not both? You're like, oh yeah, like this is good. I like Thor is with us. Like you can feel the power in this happening. Of course, as things happen, perhaps mysterious camera pans to a place that is not the town, that is not the party, that is not Molgor itself. A lone field between forests that makes its way to hills and mountains. A iron shaft, lonely, old, not rusted, strangely. Sits pondering its existence there on the plain. As this thunderstorm rages and lightning crashes and even strikes that iron spike in the ground. And the lightning dissipates, and the snow and ice that's kind of around this area kind of melts and shatters and gives way, and there is a movement of earth as perhaps layers on top of things have been loosened and fall away, and this kind of lowly, sort of once lowly hill outcrop of some kind is in fact revealed now as this storm rolls away to be a large hand gripping I guess it would be considered a strangely small spear in its hand, but a spear of iron that flexes and moves ever so gently. Anyway, I feel like that's a good place to call it quits for today. My
That
friends,
wasn't a side quest.
my friends, something wicked this way comes. Perhaps not. I don't know. Maybe it's a nice Girl Scout with cookies just for
It's
you.
never cookies.
Never
It's never
cookies.
cookies.
Yeah. It was
Nice. That was
It was
great.
nice playing with you today, my friends.
Thank you,
I am
Chad.
as always, most appreciative of you playing Dungeons and Dragons with me. So there we have it. We have a party of third level characters. We have achieved some downtime activities. We have learned some things about ourselves and perhaps our friends along the way. We have gained some new insights and some new things. We have brought screaming, bloody babies into the world so that they too can continue the cycle of work. And
We have eaten placenta.
awesome.
Smear.
What do you mean? I didn't eat any placenta.
Only
I
two
thought-
of us did.
Yeah, that happened. That totally
It
happened.
happened.
That's
All
canon.
right, fuck. I guess we all ate placenta.
Canon.
Yeah.
We've all been there. Come on, guys.
It's just like-
You haven't
You were
lived.
there,
I
so
was
I mean,
waiting tables.
Waiting to.
so, yeah,
I was-
that's
I
right.
was getting
I was
I had
tripping
fun
balls
by
on
a goat.
mushrooms.
Tripping balls on mushrooms.
So you could have eaten placenta. That's
That's
what
true.
you're saying.
You would
I
have
man,
would.
you don't know what
Totally
happened.
would. Totally would have.
Anyway, as of course everyone who is hopefully still with us. Hey, there's some people still with
Yeah,
us.
what about that giveaway?
I
Yeah.
understand there's a
my.
shit ton of stuff.
You mean the giveaway?
The
Yeah.
giveaway. Of course, recently, what I'm talking about recently, a revised edition of the Svilland campaign setting book has been released. All new art, updated content, some tweaked mechanics, all the good stuff that makes things better
4 books.
has happened. We are giving away 4 books in celebration of that fact.
Tell us about those books.
We have the core book, all of the setting information,
So
20 to 30 options for characters, plus other stuff, spells, weapons, feats,
if you're a
monsters, all the
DM,
good
you're going to
stuff.
love this book. You're a
The
player,
South
you're going to
Seas-
love this book.
Yeah.
You just
The
like
South
dope
Seas
art.
region guide. A small, like, micro setting within the oversetting
Yeah.
of Svilland.
You know what I
that
like
has
to call that? Lore galore.
lore galore. There's
Yeah.
more character options, more monsters,
Ugh.
rules for ships and ship combat, and all that kind of stuff. Very cool. Then you have specifically Untold Sagas, the literal lore book. Cool background information about the history of the world, certain groups, the progression of Odd, the guy who's the giant guy who fights the other guys who are the Aesir.
The frost
different
arrows.
frost arrows. The Loki's bastards. I don't know if that's what they're called. It might actually be what they're called.
Tears judges.
Tears
Those
judges.
guys are creepier than hell, by the way. Like I read through that today. Those guys are creepy.
They may in
Like,
fact
what's
cut
up?
their hands off.
Yeah,
to
what's
be
up
like,
with
hey,
that?
I'm cool with Tyr. I cut my hand off.
No.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And Into the Wolf's Maw,
Oh,
a 5th
Jesus, are you
level,
serious?
an adventure for 5th level characters where you will engage in such acts as going a Viking, aka ship raids in the country of Neomin, because that's where it's set. It involves fighting werewolves because they're jerks, and that's what they do. They want to fight you.
Misunderstood, maybe.
There are various groups of werewolves. It's a whole thing that you could learn about if you got all these books. There's cool stuff. There's in Into the Wolf's Maw, there are mechanics for warband, where
What?
you have relationships with the different members of your warband, and that can give you benefits or negatives depending on how cool your relationship is, how cool you are with each other, or how much you hate each other.
I am starting to believe, Chad, that Dream Realm Storytellers has thought of everything when it comes to these books.
It's a lot. There's done a lot of really good stuff. You can win it. Type in DRS. You've had enough time now.
Andy, show them how it's done. Show them how it's done, buddy. All they have to do is type DRS into the chat.
Yeah.
DRS.
All 6 of you.
Look at that. That's easy.
Hopefully, all 6 people who are watching this will do it, and then
we'll see.
and then we'll draw a winner among you, and it will be wonderful. I'm excited. You should be excited. Oh man, I love these books so much. Very soon there'll be a 1 to 20 adventure set in Svilland.
Really?
Yep. It's called Freya's Tears.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
heard about
Freya.
that one.
Big fan of
It's
Freya.
Most
Veneer
people are.
god. She's a veneer god, actually.
Yep.
Which is a little, edgy. If you're into Freya, it's a little edgy. It's a little different.
Yep. It may or may not involve things such as the armies of hell.
Oh shit! Are you
Yep.
serious?
It's a. You got to wear your big boy pants for Freya's Tears. It's pretty serious. Pretty serious.
Wow.
How about let's do a drawing. Let's do a drawing.
Right.
Let's have a countdown. Ashley is our countdown person.
All right. Ready?
Give us the 5 count.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go.
Who does it? Who gets it?
Here we go.
Vamp Wickman.
All right, Vamp.
You dirty dog.
basically won everything that we give away. Congratulations, Vamp. If you're still here, you have won. Congratulations.
Super fan.
You super fan rascal. Incidentally, did anybody check out Vamp's post in our Facebook group today?
I
that
did.
that customized gaming table that he's building. Wow, Vamp, you've got some skills, buddy. Hey, we have a Facebook group. Check it out. Superior Adventurers Guild on Facebook. I don't know, just search. You'll find it. Yeah. Congratulations, Vamp. You just won everything. Send me your drive-through RPG email as a whisper, and we'll get you 4 books so you can start your own Svilland adventure. Congrats.
Yeah. All right. That concludes our tale here today. Thank you for joining us. If you're watching in the future, as I know some of you will be, also thank you. We will be back next week where we'll find out what happens. Maybe there's something happening. I don't know. We'll find out. It's probably going to involve some sorrow, perhaps some bloodshed, as you do here in the North. Anyway, also join us on Wednesday for Beyond Saltmarsh.
Oh,
our
yeah.
other stream.
We're still deep in the
Greyhawk.
Gloomhaven Glades.
Deep in the Gloomhaven Glades.
Yeah.
Keep making friends. This time it was a ghost.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Celosia.
We're
All
about to
right.
get into a tomb. It's going to be great. Anyway, have a good week. Have a good weekend. Spend 7 hours listening, finishing Critical Role. You might have already done it by now.
Already done.
Just did it today.
No spoilers.
Get
please.
get excited for all the new stuff that's coming out.
It's
Man,
last
that
episode,
sounds like
that's the
some cool
spoiler.
stuff. There's new D&D stuff happening. Strixhaven,
There's a couple of books coming
Fey
out.
Wild stuff. That's all way in the future, sadly. But get hyped for it. Watch internet. Go away. We're over. We're done. Go. Bye. See you next
It's
week.
over.